A very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is the 2nd July 2024, Tuesday class. So as usual, we will continue our Dhamma sharing from this book, the wonderful Dhamma, Lotus Sutra, 妙法蓮華經. Let us compose our mind, develop the saddha, virya, then mindfully we shall commence the Puja chanting. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛。南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。นะโมโพพุทธะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวะพุทธังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิสวากาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิอาดินาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิจฉาจาระเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิสุสาวาดาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิสุราเมรยามัจจาปมาดตานะเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ Then to page 3 of the chanting book, we shall continue with our Puja chanting from Tadipa Puja onwards. Ganna sarapa ditena Dipena tamadang-sina Tiloka dipang sambuddhang Pujayami tamonudang Ganda sambara yuttena Độ bê na hang su khang hi na Puja ye puja niyang tang Puja bhajana muttamang Vanda ganda guno pe tang Etang kasuma santatin Pujayami munindasa Siri pada sarorohe Pujemi bedang kasumena nena Punnena matena cha Tumokang Pupang milayati yata idang me Kayo tata yati vinasa bawang Adivase tuno bante Paniyang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu mutamam Adivase tuno bante Pale parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu mutamang Adivase tuno bante Bojanang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu mutamang. Now we shall chant the Puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these Puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses off the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruit of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruition soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculties of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until we become balas or powers. Sharing and transfer of merits to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Padang Puja. Dhammang Puja. Sanghang Puja. By now, I believe most of us would have been very familiar with what this awareness-based meditation is all about, and also the importance of it. When you understand it's important, it's significant, then you go all out to train that mind so that it is aware within. The meaning of inner awareness is very important. The inner awareness is an awareness before the knowing. It's just aware. Ability to be aware without the thought process is most important. So in the form of meditation, you can do that. That is good enough, because with that, it will lead to your ability to realize your true mind, or what we call the meditative mind, which is your silent mind without thought, but just aware. That's why we develop the understanding, so that we know how to do it. And the easiest way to do it is, as I will explain, to follow the 4 support, especially the first 3 support. The first one is just relax. Whatever mind state that arises, body and mind, relax into it. Ability to relax will enable all your stress, tension, and problem to be resolved. If you hold on to anything, you cannot relax. That's why relaxation is number 1. No matter what happens in life, you tell yourself, you will only deal with it after the meditation. Before that, allow you to develop this awareness-based meditation to realize the true mind, the silent mind, so that it can lead to its stability, thereby enabling you to be mindful and heedful throughout the day, leading to heedfulness, apamada. So this understanding is very important. To relax is not to think, not to project your thought, not to do this, do that. That's why I say relax, maintain awareness, the second support. Means don't try to know, don't try to do anything. Don't try to allow the thought to arise. Just maintain awareness. Whatever arises from our 6 sense bases, aware, finish. Aware, finish. And just gently let your mind settle down. When you don't think, don't do anything, all the whatever sankhara activity, the unfinished movement of mental aggregates, they will start to settle down. So you can relax, maintain awareness. It will help you decondition the heedless thinking, so that your silent mind will return. The silent mind before the arising of thought or aggregates of mind. So whatever stirring or mental movement, they are all dependent originating, condition arising, causal phenomena. If you don't allow the causes and condition to be there for it to arise, then it will not arise. So the best way is to relax, maintain awareness, and let it settle down and stabilize. So the third support is stabilizing the inner awareness. Then after that, just let the mind develop by itself until the silence become more and more pronounced, more and more clear, until your true mind settle down and to become very still. Tranquility of mind, stillness of mind without any thought activity or movement is the most important. If you can do that, my nature will rejoice with you. Because that is how you come to realize your true mind, which is completely without thought, without any movement of sankara at all. The whole mind becomes very quiet, very still. And this is a free mind, not a conditioned mind. That's why the beauty of awareness-based meditation is to realize your true mind, which is before the stirring, before the thinking, before the perception, before the arising of mind activity. So now you will start to learn more and more understanding of what that true mind is. Always remember, if you don't meditate with understanding, you cannot do it. Understanding means understand how to develop this inner awareness, not by doing, not by verbalizing, and also not by all the mundane thinking that try to know the chattering within. So all this, you will start to develop clear understanding and will not do all these foolish things that lead to heedless thinking again. So awareness-based meditation is very simple when you understand. Just relax, maintain awareness, and let the mind settle down and become very quiet on its own. And there is a free mind in the state of tranquility and stillness without thought. That is the beauty of awareness-based meditation, when you can be in that state of stillness without thought, and the mind is a free mind. That is the real sati, the real samadhi, and not the one in concentration and absorption. Okay, now I will let you develop the training on your own. You can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditative state. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the deities and Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalisu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhamang Muni Rajasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Peso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijacarana Sampanno Sukato Lokavido Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko หิปัสเสโกโอปานายิโกปัจจตังเวทิตาโบวิโนหิติสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอุจุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆญาญาปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสามีจิปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆยาดิดังจัตตาริปุริสยุคานิอัตตปุริสปุกาลาเอสาภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอาหุเนโยปะหุเนโยดักเกเนโยอัญจลิการะเนโยอนุตรังปุญญังเกตังโลกาสาธิสาธุสาธุสาธุ Okay, now we'll continue from where we stopped. We are at this volume 4, chapter 3, a parable. The sutta based on commentary by Master Hsuan. We are on page 587. Okay, I will read on it. Of limitless wealth represent the Buddha's unlimited blessings and virtue. So this one is explaining the part in the sutta where there is this in bold of limitless wealth. Means these are spiritual wealth. The Buddha's unlimited blessings and virtue. So when you cultivate the supreme vehicle teaching to realize Sama Sambuddhahood, it will lead to perfection of wisdom and blessing. So these are the two great perfection of virtue. So all of our virtue will become beautiful when you have wisdom. Then from virtue it gives rise to blessings. So the Buddha has a lot of virtue, blessing because of the perfection of wisdom. Then the commentary continues. The Buddha is replete with mind rights virtue, means limitless. So he is of limitless wealth, possessing many fields. So this part which is in bold, the sutta meant he owns not a few fields, but many. So these are not our physical worldly field where you plant your produce or agriculture and other things. These are the various fields of understanding, wisdom, speciality. Fields for our worldly comparison are where the crops are planted, and these crops sustain life. So we plant the fields, reap the fruits or harvest, and in this way maintain our livelihood. That is the function of field. So the fields here refer to here. The fields referred to here can nourish our Dhamma body and wisdom life. So it's another way of explaining it. How do we nourish our Dhamma body and wisdom life? So this analogy is good. When we talk about nourishing our physical body, is for us to survive, to develop the necessary nourishment for us to have the ability to use this physical body, which is our functional body. So, functional body means to perform the function of a living being, and in our case is a human being. So the function of a human being or living being are many. You can use it to move around, to be mobile, to exercise, and to develop skills, cultivation, everything. And also is like a vehicle to take us around. And with the senses inside this physical body, it enables us to become conscious. Conscious of what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we tactily feel and think. So this will enable us to know the world, to interact with the world, to experience life, which is to be conscious. When you are conscious of life, you experience life, you live life. So without the senses, without the consciousness, there is no life. So basically our physical body is very important. Likewise, when we cultivate the Dhamma body is very important, because we cultivate the Dhamma to experience the wisdom, to realize the wisdom, so that we know how to live life, so that we understand life clearly, so that we will not be deluded by what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we tactily feel and think, so that the phenomenal world of consciousness and external form has got no power over us. It cannot delude us. So all this define clearly why the Dhamma body is very important. To have Dhamma is to have the realization, born of cultivation. Then this body, like what the Buddha did, the Trikaya or three bodies of the Buddha. First one is Nimanakaya, the functional body, which is the physical form of Sakyamuni Buddha when he arose 2,600 years ago. Karmically conditioned out for him to arise, to perform the function of a Buddha, to live life, to experience life, to go through whatever karmic cultivation and functioning, so that he can live the life of a Sammasambuddha finally. So this functional body alone is not enough for him to perform that work, that nature, the duty that he has undertaken through his vows and perfection. What he needs is the spiritual body. In Pali it's called Sambhogaya Kaya. So Sambhogaya Kaya is the spiritual body, or we call it the spiritual nature that he developed through his aeons and aeons of cultivation and perfection. And this is taught in the spiritual nature of Sakyamuni Buddha. So when the time comes for him to become the fully enlightened one, to inherit all this, what happened is he strives very hard using the physical body, Nimanakaya, to develop the understanding. So for 6 years since he left the palace, after he saw the four signs, the sign of an old man, a sick man, and a dead man, and a summoner, that one triggered off the search, because he realized as a human being, if this is what every living being has to go through, you have problems in life, because the problem of aging, getting old, getting sick, injury, and finally die. He has got no answer. That's why he went all out, follow the spiritual path of a samana to seek the answer. Then because of his past perfection, so when the causes and conditions all set and fall into place, that fateful night under the Bodhi tree, he inherited the Sambhogaya Kaya. So when this spiritual body came back to him, of course, we are the gateway to his nature. Then immediately these two bodies transform and make him the Dhammakaya, the third body, the Dhamma body. So that Dhamma body is the Dhammakaya. Kaya is body. So with that, he becomes the Sammasambuddha, and he can teach the Dhamma. That's how the Trikaya come to be. So that Trikaya is an explanation of how the Sammasambuddha developed his perfection, cultivation, and wisdom, so that he can become a Sammasambuddha to teach the Dhamma, to share the Dhamma with the world. So this part in the Theravada tradition teaching is explained very clearly. But for us, as living beings, because different living beings are at different stages of cultivation and perfection, most of us only has the karmically conditioned Nimanakaya, or what we call the functional body, that enable us to come to this existential world as a form of mind, as a living being. In our case, we are born as a human. We are called Manusa, or a human being. Then, beyond that, depend on your cultivation. You don't have a good base, and you have not developed the cultivation, the spiritual understanding, perfection and cultivation, means your spiritual nature has not been formed or developed yet. If that is the case, then you have a long time to go roaming in samsara. That's why the cycle of birth and death, samsara, is like eternity to a lot of heedless living beings. Then once you start your cultivation, perfection, then over time, you also can become Sammasambuddha, so you can perfect them. But before you become Sammasambuddha, you may be on different stages of cultivation, then depend on their spiritual nature. It may not be the fully perfected one. But as long as you have some form of cultivation, then that one will help you in your process of cultivation. So like I explained before, this one may be as a revision. The moment you are born, the Buddha said, under the fifth daily contemplation, we are all born of our karma, heir to our karma, supported by our karma, and we are what we are because of our karma. So what the Buddha meant is, there is a karmic nature already there, and this karmic nature is a summation of all our mental intention. Every segmented life we come, the summation of all these segments, they form that karmic nature. And this karmic nature, because of avijja, when a living being passes away, they continue to take rebirth. Then they come another segment of the physical body. So this Nibbana-kaya, unending, keep on coming, keep on coming. Then because of this, the moment you are born, You are born of your karma, heir to your karma. Then you are conditioned and supported by your karma. And you are what you are because of karma. So if that is the reality, the case, what must we do? We must take care of karma. That is the only way to be free, because everything depends on karma. You are born of it, heir to it, conditioned and supported by it, and you are what you are because of your karma, every moment, every instant. So if you don't take care of karma, you will have problem, you will have suffering, misery. Then you follow this nature's law. You reap what you sow. Do good begets good, do evil begets evil. You plant the seed of evil, you will reap the fruit of evil. You plant the seed of wholesomeness, you will reap the fruit of wholesomeness. So this nature's law of causal, moral causation is very important as an understanding when we start our cultivation. So karmic nature, everybody has. Then with that, you start your life. Of course, from the first thought of ignorance, the whole thing flows until you become what you are, so sophisticated. Then by then, you have developed a very complicated karmic nature, both good and bad. But most people, before they develop the cultivation's understanding, the wisdom, the blessing, and all the whatever virtue, you cannot develop a good what they call understanding of life. So what happens is, most living beings, they keep on taking birth and death, going through samsara for almost eternity, until they reach certain stage where they meet out with the great beings, the beautiful and very compassionate bodhisattvas or enlightened beings, especially Sammasambuddha. So when there are causes and conditions for this to evolve and develop, then you start your cultivation. Some people, they start their cultivation through belief system, through encountering certain religious people, then they follow their religion. And as we all know, even in our society, how many religions are there? Countless actually. Tradition, or the various type of belief system, we call it belief system, in the name of religion. And to find the correct one is not that easy. Then after you find the correct one, you want to develop the cultivation, you think easy. Also not easy. Take for example, so you see, as Buddhists, we think we're very lucky. You like got the right religion. Do you know, within the Buddhist tradition, we got so many sects of Buddhism. You got Theravada, you got Mahayana, you got Vajrayana. Then within every of these Theravada, so many so-called division again. You got Burmese Theravada, Thai Theravada, and within the Burmese and Thai, so many more, Sri Lanka, India, everywhere, they're all over the world. So now you understand why it's not easy. Then even within the Theravada tradition, what are the teachings that you can learn? It's mostly the provisional teaching. And you have to be very lucky to get the one that has the enlightenment and the understanding to teach you. And if he is somebody you don't have affinity and don't know, then how can you learn from him? Understand? There is no reason for him to teach you. You think he got nothing to do. He also got a lot of other things to do. So all this cultivating affinity to meet out with this one is very important. That's why Sakyamuni Buddha teaches what? Invoke power of merit, silence the whole thing. That's why after every Dhamma session, he chant the closing puja. Itmina punyang kamina, ma me bala samagamo, satang samagamo hotu, yawa nivana patiya. So this one is evoking the power of merit. Itmina punyang. Punyang is all merit. Kamina. So this power of merit you invoke for causes and conditions for you to avoid the foolish, understand? Meet out with the wise, so the enlightenment nibbana can be realized in the here and the now as soon as possible. So if you invoke this, for me, I will advise you to add two things. You may make the aspiration for causes and conditions to avoid the foolish and meet out with the wise, so that you can learn the Dhamma and become enlightened. But if you don't know who are the foolish and who are the wise, then your aspiration actually is as good as nothing. It's just like people make vow. I promise not to break the precept. I promise not to do evil. I promise. You don't even find out what consists evil, and what are the significance of precept, and why you must keep the precept. I can guarantee you, no way you can keep, but you don't understand the significance. Understanding is very important. That's why, who are the foolish? Who are the wise ones? It's very important. And the Buddha in his teaching make it very clear, the heedless are as if dead. So those who don't have the mindfulness, the awareness and the cultivation, most of them are normal human beings, heedless people. I mean, avoid doesn't mean you cannot interact. You also have your siblings, your family members, your neighbor, your colleague, your friend. They are all human beings, all living beings. But avoid doesn't mean you avoid them. No, not all human beings are heedless, understand? They may not cultivate, but they are not heedless. That's why you must know how to separate them. Heedless means those who constantly break their precept, understand? Intoxicate themselves, couldn't care less, do all sorts of nonsense. They not only violate the precept, they violate society's rules. They cheat, they swindle, they deceive, and they do all sorts of funny things. And they are very violent. And they are actually dangerous people. Then, who are the wise ones? That one may be difficult. Before you have the Dhamma, difficult to recognize them. Well, they don't have a chop on their forehead for you to recognize them. Sometimes they come as lay people, like Vensu, Pusa, Utaisan. He come as a beggar. You don't know. So how to differentiate? These are not easy. So cultivation is not so straightforward as that's why what the Buddha has taught us is very important. We make the aspiration, but we add it in. We must know who are the heedless or foolish, and who are the wise ones, and how to develop the ability to recognize people who has the Dhamma. And these people are the one that has the embodiment of the Noble Eightfold Path. They have wisdom, they have right view, right understanding. Then they are able to communicate very nicely. Their action, their speech, and their thought process, they are all in accordance. Then they also have this ability to live life beautifully. That's why right living. Or sometimes they translate that power factor as right livelihood. So right livelihood is only one small aspect of right living. When you have the embodiment of the other Noble Eightfold Power factors that enable you to understand life and live life, then you will have the ability to perfect that power factor of right living. And this right living is very powerful. I have explained before. If you have this, you will definitely meet up with the wise. Because right living means you live life in accordance with the Dhamma way. Means you have the embodiment of right thought, right speech, right action, and the four right effort together with Sati, Samadhi. So all these power factors will protect you. Then in life you will encounter a lot of human beings or living beings. And sometimes the non-human you also don't know. But because you have right livelihood or right living, you every time develop a lot of wholesomeness and virtuous action, speech and thought process towards all these people that you encounter. Sometimes you may just have condition to meet up with them. Then you have this, what they call goodness and kindness. You are very sincere. You never cheat them, never deceive them. Then your karmic negativity is protected. But you never knew who you cheat, who you deceive. He is a cultivator. I tell you, not easy. You have to pay through your nose. And a lot of deluded people, heedless people, they ignore this because they don't understand it. That's why from a simple power factor of right living, it can actually transform your life. Because as a cultivator, I know every segment of my life I come, when I see certain, not only human beings, sometimes birds or animals or any living being, then sometimes non-human also. Then when I realized that they did a lot of goodness and wholesomeness, especially towards my nature, I will send my pure wish blessing. And it's enough. Like my parents, how I choose them this time. If you are in the past, they don't know me, they don't know who I am, but they treat me well, they take care of me. And that wholesomeness is enough to give rise to those causes and conditions. So, do not underestimate the Noble Eightfold Power Factor. Each and every one of that power factor is very important, very useful. It can transform your life completely. That's why virtue, sincerity, kindness, goodness, virtue, all this can make a big difference to your cultivation and to your life. So this part, I just want you to understand. Okay, we go back to the sharing. So from that word Dhamma body, we end up sharing so much things. So Dhamma body is very important. So this one, body is an English word. Kaya in Pali is body. So Dhamma Kaya means the Dhamma body of the Buddha. It's called the Dhamma Kaya. So for each of us is our, we cannot call it Dhamma body if you don't have the spiritual nature and the Dhamma and the Sangha. Maybe you call your, 2 is called what? 3 is Trikaya, Baikaya. So, please remember that kaya is not what we eat in the morning. Spelling is the same. But that one is body. So take care of our body. Not only physical body, spiritual body, and Dhamma body. Then our, what we call functional body is also very useful, because we need this functional body to perform the function of a living being when we come, to perfect our cultivation, to fulfill our vows, to do our duty, and to go through life, to live life. So all these are the understanding. Okay, we continue. How do we nourish our Dhamma body and wisdom life? This one is very important. So here Hsuan says, is by investigating Dhyan. So Dhyan here means Samadhi. He put practicing Samadhi. Okay. Actually investigating the Dhamma, or developing Samadhi to insight into phenomena, to see things as they are. So maybe it's okay, the English word, just leave it. So in practicing Samadhi, or cultivating, the better word should be cultivating. It's not a practice, because Samadhi cannot be practiced. Samadhi is it's not for you to practice. Samadhi is a cultivation. You cultivate through understanding, then you develop it. Like just I explained, the free mind, in tranquility and stillness, without thought, and yet it's a free mind. Can you not think? And can the mind just naturally silent and realize that true mind, or that stillness, the inner stillness, tranquility of mind, stillness of mind, before the arising of thought? That is your true nature, pure awareness nature, the first thing that come out from the nature. So that one you cannot practice. Who practice? The thought practice. When the thought practice, it creates activity of mind. It creates the mundane thought process and thinking. Then how can you realize that state of Samadhi? That's why it's a cultivation through understanding. It's not repetitively practice, somebody doing it. It's just a realization through the cultivation. When you cultivate your understanding, then the mind fall into place and return to its original state before the stirring. So I will change the word. In cultivating Samadhi, one must have the aid of prajna, which is wisdom. This one very true. Without wisdom, Samadhi cannot manifest. It cannot fall into place. You need wisdom. That's why you need so manasikara. Wisdom at the moment of sense experience is very important. So once you have yoniso manasikara, it will prompt you at the moment of sense experience. Then your mind is not deluded, not deceived. That's why it will not stir. It will not react and create more thinking or thought activity and movement, sankhara activity. So what happens is, you become more and more at peace with every moment of sense experience. Then this ability to be at peace will lead to more and more calmness, peacefulness, tranquility, stillness. That's why they say it will develop into sati, space between thought, where there is no more heedless thinking. So this statement is very true. In cultivating Samadhi, one must have the aid of wisdom or prajna. Therefore, one has to cultivate prajna. By cultivating Samadhi with the aid of the strength of prajna, one's Dhamma body and wisdom life can be nourished. That is the connotation of the word field. So this is Hsuan Hua's way of explaining. What I have taught you is the Buddha's first sermon, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, where he taught the five ascetics how to develop the three types of wisdom. We are the three turnings of the Four Noble Truths. you go through that, it will be more direct. Then it will give rise to the three types of prajna. The first one, born of the first turning, the Buddha called it Suttamaya Panya. Means Sutta is the discourse of the Buddha. Wisdom born of hearing the Sutta. Now you can read it up. You can have the recording. You can have the whatever computer or handphone or whatever, or that Hsuan bought for you on, you call it radio, recorder, SD card, so that you can listen to it again. So all this is what the first turning is. Then after that, you reflect and contemplate on all this that you have heard or read before to stabilize the understanding. So the second turning is to reflect, contemplate, and inquire into the Dhamma that the Buddha has proclaimed. Means all this truth, the teaching that he has given us. And then that will give rise to a second turning wisdom, which is more stable. The Buddha called it Chintamaya Panya. Wisdom born of constant contemplation, reflection, and inquiry into the teaching. Then the third turning one is meditative. That's why the third turning wisdom is called Bhavanamaya Panya. Wisdom born of Bhavana cultivation. Bhavana means the meditative training. And this one you can only get it through awareness-based meditation. So that the silent mind in sati, stability of it, leading to heedfulness, the constantly meditative, ever mindful. So that part is the third turning. And that wisdom is very penetrative. So you cultivate that way, then it will lead to the three types of wisdom that is needed. So what you need is heedfulness. That's why under Dhammapada verse 21, the Buddha says, heedfulness is the path to the deathless, whereas heedlessness is the path to the dead. And because of that, he said, the heedful never die, whereas the heedless are as if dead. So that Dhammapada verse is very powerful. It points towards the importance of cultivating heedfulness, from sati, stabilizing it, into samadhi. Then with sati and samadhi, you can cultivate. You can see things as they are. You can insight into phenomena. You can awaken. You can understand what is going on within life. You can understand clearly who are you, what are you. All the teaching, paticca samuppada, the Four Noble Truths, the three turning, all you can understand. Okay, we go back to the sharing. So the elder here means the Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha. Also had many houses. Of what use are houses? They are places to shelter our body. In this context, houses represent the realm of reality, the place where wisdom dwells. Just as people live in house, true wisdom lives in the realm of reality. Thus the houses are an analogy for the realm of reality, which houses true wisdom. So this is the explanation by Hsuan. In terms of blessings and virtue, the Buddha has extensively cultivated the 6 paramitas and the mind-right practice, not overlooking even the smallest, most trivial cultivation. The Buddha's wisdom illuminates every realm and shines upon every state of being. This is represented by the elder, owning many houses and fields and houses. And the elder also have many servants. So here servants are those hired to do all the work, all kinds of work, the Dhamma work and activity. This is not referring to actual servant, rather is an analogy for the Buddha's perfection and complete skillful means, knowledge and vision. Means he can do anything at all. The English is a bit difficult to comprehend. He can do anything, that's enough. No need at all. Why is he said to be replete with skillful means, knowledge and vision? Because he harmonizes with all living beings in the sixth destiny. So sixth destiny means 六道轮回. Yeah? Actually it's the 31 plane of existence. Like likes naturally blending with each other without conflict. Although the Buddha appears and disappears in the six destinies, thus manifesting the cycle of birth and death, he does not cling to birth and death. Why does he harmonize with all living beings in the sixth destiny? He does so because he wishes to accommodate many living beings. The Buddha does not teach them in a direct manner, but in an indirect manner using skillful means or expedient devices and methods. The term servant in this context refers to skillful means, knowledge and vision, as they are the servant of ultimate wisdom. Okay, so that is the explanation part. Okay, I think we stop here. So I just read the sutta part. His house, while spacious, has only one door. Wow, this one is interesting. You know what is one door? No? When you attend party, good food, good drinks, good environment. Sometimes they describe it like, for those who like to have fun, they say beautiful party, good food, good wine, good man and woman, everything flow. So if you just go in, keep on going in, somebody finally will have to foot the bill, understand? And there's only one door out. So like the stock market is a very good analogy. Everybody happy, you're lucky. Well, market booming, understand? Euphoria. Everybody talking about, hey, you buy this stock, you make money or not? Oh, I make so much, my friend all make. Where got such thing everybody make money? So what goes up must come down. So when it crashed, what happened? Everybody will start to run. Everybody want to sell. No buyer. So one door, you don't stay near the door, or you are not gone out. You have to stay inside and foot the bill. That's why during all this crisis, when the stock market crash, it's a lesson where all the greedy people and deluded, heedless people, they will have to pay the price. Also, all these are karmic debt that you have to lose back. That's why no point deceiving, cheating, stealing, and all that. Because there are many ways nature can take it back from you. Sometimes willingly you pay out. They become your son, your children. Then you got no choice. Everything you just give. So this title, I don't know what it means. I also haven't read. But never mind. It sounds interesting. His house, well, spacious, has only one door. Remember that word, one door. The door to enlightenment, also one door. Understand? Although the teaching, I think, they say 84,000 Dhamma door. You believe or not? Got so many. Of course, there are many ways to become enlightened, understand? But these are doors that you cannot find, understand? That's why it's called Dhamma door. Without Dhamma, you cannot enter. You cannot develop the realization. Don't go and imagine, in the sutta is mentioned 84,000 Dhamma door. Why I worry? I'm not so sure. At least I was strike one, but don't have Dhamma, how to strike Dhamma door. Okay, so we will mark this page. Now we will come back and have our second session, which is meditation reporting, followed by whatever question you may have, Q&A session. And also you can share Dhamma in daily life.
刚刚 Brother 就讲到religion 的事情
对，
其实我觉得这个是很怎么讲，很微妙的事情。因为每个人会寻寻觅觅，
对，
然后呢，他会停在可能适合他的地方，
对，
而且每个人一定会觉得自己选的是最好的。
对，
所以其实是没有必要去说啊，你为什么不怎么样，不怎么样啊？
对。
比方说，有一次我的邻居是一个马来人然后他们是非常虔诚的马来的回教徒。
There are a lot of very pious Muslim.
而且是
I have met many.
他是从 Benagara 退休的然后有一次我们站在外面就刚好跟他聊天，然后我跟我的 husband 其实我们都很讶异他讲的，因为其实我们在马来西亚，可是我们完全没有机会接触到回教徒，因为我们的环境。然后跟他谈话之后，我们才觉得原来他们真的那么想，不是只是报纸什么的。然后你会发现，他们的想法其实跟我们很大的不一样。
对 ，very true, yes.
然后我跟我的老公就笑这样听，然后其实我们并没有在comment说他讲怎么样，其实应该是说真的想法很不一样，
不一样。That's why 你会come across different people with different type of ideology, belief system, and their way of understanding religion or the teaching. And 好像慧荣讲的 they believe theirs is the best. And because 没有理由你信了你选了你还有道。If that is the case, 你不会选那个 religion. But also there are cases where they become normal Buddhist first, then later they become Christian, then later on they become another religion, then later finally they become atheists. They decide not to be. And there are a lot. And now the younger generation, I realize, depending on who they interact with, they end up with the whole group there. Even the recent so-called wedding I attended, my friend, they are all my age on around 70 or coming to 70 or 70 plus. Then I saw them giving all the speeches and all those things. They got the follow the bride and the bridegroom call on 兄弟兄弟姐妹 in English you call
brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters, all the bride and the bridegroom. Wow, they share their experience all this. But when I attended those of the Christian background, I realized they have a group there, and very exciting, the way they look at things, the way they describe things, and the way they share. Of course, they have their faith and all those things. Then a lot of things they attribute to what they believe in, and from there, There was one sharing which was very good. I think it's a Christian one, Jing Fong one, I think, where the bright side one, I think that friend, he said, I think they quote from the Bible one, as long as you have faith in that religion and you put God, really the God in the center, then everything will be taken care of. Understand? No? Means not your personal one, that's not the selfish, I want to say. Oh, they're like, what? Not bad, huh? Oh, when they come out, but that will give them the faith, no? So he said, no matter what happened, it's just like we are Buddhists. You must have the Buddha, Dharma, the Sangha, and the refuge that you take. You hold on to that principle, you never deviate one, you never go wrong. But if you try to reason, then you try to justify. That one is all the mundane mind's activity. So, what is important is, like Huol share, most people don't know how to search. And most people don't have problem, don't search on. And a lot of them got big problem only, they go and search on. And when they search also, they want like Maggie Mee or quick fix on. Then some are, because of their past or what, they very staunch or fanatical or they go to the other extreme. So you meet also, some are very really pious one, very good people. I have met many when I was working, because we work in government department last time the place I work also a lot of Muslim and Malay and also, and they have their surau, their mosque. I got one boss that time I was working as a civil engineer, that Tuan Haji Hussein. He's very good, very pious. He went with me for JKR meeting. We drive all the way to, I think, Kelantan side. Then on the way, he never miss on his prayer. And he very nice. You don't mind, I will be going there. You wants to stop any of this shop where you can eat or what? You tell me, he said, I will drop you, then I will go. Then after the time finish, he will come exactly at the right time, and then he said, we can go now. And he never miss one. And he's such a nice person, very kind and very quiet. And I like him because he don't want to influence you. Then sometimes, of course, he talk to me also. Then he like my attitude. I always rejoice. I said, I call him Tuan Haji. Tuan Haji, you very good, very kind, very pious. Then he always smile. He said, no, you also good. He said. Then we sometimes go for makan together. Especially lunch break and all those things. Then he liked his Muslim food and all those things. Then I said, no problem, I also like. So all this is understanding their beliefs system, their religion, their faith, and we have to respect them. But each and every one, they have their own approach to truth, to religion. And you cannot say this is the best, this is better, because within every religion, there are so many black sheep and all those things, and not all understand. You may claim that you are a Buddhist, but you don't have the embodiment of the understanding of the teaching of the founder of that religion. To me, it's no meaning. Buddhist means what? You every time bye for that one doesn't make you a Buddhist. You have to understand the teaching of the founder. And when you understand, then you are worthy of him. Like to be a devotee or to be a disciple, to be worthy of the Buddha teaching. you must at least have the embodiment of his teaching. Means you must know what he teaches and what he shares, and how that teaching can make you a better person, so that you can be a blessing to all society, the world, and all things. Because all religion, if I'm not wrong, teaches humanity to avoid evil and do good, isn't it? That part is almost everywhere, isn't it? Love, compassion, and all those things. But when it comes to salvation, the wisdom part, that may be different. Then, like Rung mentioned, some the ideology very different. So you listen, you don't panic, because that is the world, and the modern, during my time, the hippies, they don't believe anything, man. You know what the hippies do, they involve with drugs and all, saying hair long, and to them it's life. So there are various era or what we call civilization that we go through, and during the ancient day there are a lot of very conservative people, understand? Even in China, I think the ancient tradition, the dynasty, or the tie the leg on, you remember, until the foot very small. They believe in all those things. So a lot are rites and ritual. So we have to have that open mind, understanding, to accept all this reality. But these are reality that exists within the existential world, conditioned world. So just let things be and develop harmony. Don't try to what they call glorify your religious label, understand? Your belief system. Because to me, you don't need that label, because that label doesn't define you, understand? Like you say, you are an engineer or you are a lawyer. Does it mean that all engineers, all lawyers are good people? No. There are a lot of black sheep in my profession also. Of course, there are good ones also. So you cannot quantify by that label. That's why I always say, the religious label to me has got no meaning. What is important is how you understand life and your heart. Understand? If your heart is with all the evil roots and don't have the heedfulness and the understanding, there is a limit to how good you can be, understand, or how religious you can be. So a religious person must have wisdom, must have virtue, kindness, goodness, incapable of negativity. That is a better definition than holding on to the religious label that, hey, I am a Buddhist, means I am vegetarian, or I am one. To me, that one doesn't really make you very special or very different. It's a label common to everybody that practices that or do that. So spiritually, is the heart. To me, is you cannot take care of your mind, you cannot purify your mind and develop the wisdom and the understanding and the virtue, then you are not really a human being that can command the respect of the many. And most human beings really fail to search based on those good criteria. Most of them will ask you, you sure I join your religion, I die already, I promise eternal heaven. I got that one, the attracted one. Then is it got to pay money also? Never mind. So various type of living beings or human beings that you will encounter. How? You continue. Sorry, interrupt me. 太久。
可是刚刚博德六你讲说是每个人用选的，
对，
我不同意说是自己选的耶。
对，
我觉得不是自己选的，
对，不是自己选的，你前世的动作选出来的。
对。
A lot are based on your karmic past. That's why it will make you entangled with those things. Sometimes, if you are a real cultivator, it will bring you back to that faith. But if you got karmic obstruction or what, then you did a lot of funny things. Then karmically, it will condition you to go back to that particular faith one. And there is no way you can come out of it. You will be stuck there for very long until you meet out with Guiren and all those things to unlock all this and to untie all this. But finally, it depends on, of course, we are Buddhists, we call karma. But all those who have other faith, they may believe it differently. So it is something that he cannot really like put a clear-cut definition of which is better, which is right, which is wrong. No such thing, because it is a choice that the individual have to search and find out for themselves, and it's not easy. This particular search for truth, search for understanding, is not easy. Even the scientists have been researching, do so much things. They have unraveled a lot of scientific truth, but spiritual truth, they also still in the darkness. They cannot. But at least scientific truth have enabled a lot of those what they call superstitious type of belief system, or they cannot stand up to the progress of science, so they start to like collapse, and not so many people hold on to that type of belief anymore. So as the world progresses, a lot of religion will start to rise and fall. Then the more popular one, of course, they will survive longer. But end of the day is the realization of what truth is, what life is existing. If you can understand that, then you will be really wise, spiritual. And without that, you cannot understand life, you cannot live life. And you check your life, you will know. So all this, it depends on the individual. Okay, Huyong, continue, sorry.
我讲一下，我以前读书的时候，其实非常，应该是说我大概中学或大学的时候，因为我们会常常看到比方说 Christine 或 Catherine， 哇，是非常的温暖，对，非常的有爱，对，尤其是我到美国读书的时候，我曾经去过教堂，可是没办法，我不知道，我觉得我很直觉的，然后我有去接触了，然后我根本没办法进入对，我根本没办法去接受，虽然他所有的 religion 它都有它的优点跟强调的东西，但是那不一定可以跟你的想法 match 的。对，所以就变成说虽然表面上是选你这样子一个一个，然后你到最后你才会觉得这个才是其实你没有心里没有在选，可是其实你的行动在做选择。对。那比方说啦我曾经也去 Pure Land 上过课，我现在不是在说什么好什么不好，我只是在说我的 experience。对，
分享
然后他有个概念，就是说你一定要去 Pure Land 才不会退转可是我很 我其实不认为这样。因为我觉得，就算我下辈子变成 Christian 还是 Catholic， 可是我那个种子已经在我的里面了。那我还是会朝着那一条路，而不是说我要先买一个 guarantee， 买一个对，
保险
我一定要去 Pure Land， 我才可以继续 practice。所以你会发现都是很短暂的停留，然后最后你会选择，你会停留在一个你觉得很跟你这个就好像选男朋友跟选老公一样。你如果觉得不适合你本来就会分手。对。就算结婚了也可以说不适合，我还要再去找一个。对。所以我们把它拉长来看，不是只有这辈子。可能我从几辈子以前，可能我到下辈子，其实我都在走这条路。可是我觉得冥冥之中，你还是会走回你认为的那一条路。所以我觉得不用担心那么多。只要我觉得你是像刚刚宝的队友讲的，你是遵守不是遵守，就是你是朝向所谓的八正道
你就不会不见去了。
对，我觉得这个比较重要，
也就找得到方向。对，找得
到而不是说我要去拿那一个 insurance， 我要去买那个 insurance， 我才不会退转。我觉得不会是这样。对。所以我其实很觉得，不论以后是怎么样，可是你如果心里有那个faith，其实你就冥冥之中就是走向那一条路。对，
那条路其实是很简单的，好像佛讲的那个 advice of all Buddha sabba papasa karanang kusalesa upasambadan sacitta pariyodapana etang buddhana sasana. That one is a universal truth. You cannot avoid all evil and do good. You cannot take care of karma. 你就中枪了，你的 life 就完蛋了。Whatever religion you may be, that's why you look at all the religion. They advise you to keep the precepts. Of course, the Christian call it commandments. Understand? They command you to not violate all those commandments. So, almost all religion has their own way of like teaching you to avoid evil. Like even I think the other religion, or they have things that prohibited one, you cannot do one. So to them it's evil, understand? Then you must cultivate all the wholesomeness, the goodness, the virtue, the kindness, the love, the compassion, like Jesus' love and compassion. Then all of the virtue, like your sincerity, your what they call respect, and your gratitude, and also what they call a lot of all those very important virtue, like in day-to-day life, when you have this what they call kindness, goodness, and willing to like help out a situation when you have the ability to help out, and when there are causes and conditions for it to unfold. If you have that, to me, you are really spiritual, understand? Means you cultivate virtue, wholesomeness, goodness, kindness. You got no negativity. Then of course, when it comes to purification of mind, which is developing the wisdom, every religion is different, understand? But the Buddhist way, I realized that mindfulness, that awareness, is the way forward to realize a lot of understanding that is beyond thought, beyond mind. And very few religions teach that sati, that mindfulness, that awareness. Of course, there are a lot of new modern religion that so-called teach, like the power of now, Eckhart Tolle, then J. Krishnamurti also awareness, then many other, like you can go and Google, there are a lot. But the basic major religion of the world, there is a lot of division inside them. Within that same religion, they break up into so many. Even Christianity. You got the Catholic, Protestant, 好像会Rung讲. Then within Catholic also many types. Then within Protestant also many. Then there are what they call major differences. Just like we all Buddhists, it's the same. So how are we to filter all this and come to an understanding? So to me, the best way is still to follow the advice of all the Sammasa Buddha. If I can really train my mind to have the ability to avoid all evil, do good, then at least I have succeeded the major understanding to avoid negativity of karmic action that can lead to suffering, misery, and all. And that to me is a very good start. You can do that, you're already very good. Of course, the third advice is more difficult. To purify that mind. Without wisdom, without awareness, without sati, without going back to our awareness nature, I realize there is no way you can deal with that mundane mind. That mundane mind create a lot of ideology, a lot of views, opinion, belief system. All these are created by the mind. That's why you have so many religions, so many belief systems, ideology. Then the politicians add in more ideology, which is nothing spiritual. But all these are the reality of life and existence. That's why what I want to point out is that search is not easy. Understand? To come across truth, to come across something that can really transform the living being is not easy. Of course, you can approach it from any of your so-called religious background, faith, and all those things. Where different people claim to have their own enlightenment and realization, but that is subject to the individual's belief system, and to them they believe that way. If it helps them, to me, no harm. Understand? If that is what you want, no harm. That's why Rung say, finally, you will come to what you are searching for, because over the years of conditioning and belief system, you evolve and you become what you are. So like my nature, this life I come, nothing can influence me or not, I realize. Since young, I can listen to all this. I also approached that question when I was in Form 5. Remember I told you I look at the sky, then after that the question came, the probe start. I got no problem at that time. I was still a student after Form 5. Then later on, my classmates after Form 5, I think 5 or 6 of them, all different backgrounds, but they are also searching. So one of them, the father is an authority in Buddhism, so he carried the Buddhist scripture. Then my teacher, Aoyang, is a Christian pastor. Wow, the two debate until I was witnessing from the side. Then I just said, never mind. I said, I want to learn more. I at that time don't know. So whatever they were trying to like explain to me, I cannot get the Jiso, especially the classmate, the father is an authority in Buddhism. He didn't even summarize the 4 Noble Truths, the 3 things, all missing inside there. He just want my teacher to like believe that Buddhism is more superior than Christianity. That's why the 2 of them cannot. But my teacher is very good. That pastor, he helped a lot of students, especially medical students who went to MU. They got problem. But MU, the medical course is not easy one. It's very tough. And I think 5 of my classmates went into engineering. Medical means study MBBS. 2 of them are girls. They are top students now. But at one time, first year that time, they under tremendous pressure. No? So they got problem. No? So he came down all the way from Alastar, no? And counseled them and helped them. That's why I really thank him. And that time I heard about it. But that time I myself, an engineering student, already toboing already. I also have my own study. And medicine is not a field where I can advise and share. But one of them came and see me. So I talked to her. So, okay, not so bad. Finally, they overcome the problem. Then they also graduate and become what they are. So, in life, it's like that. If you have your good past, you will meet up with people that will come and help you. And I remember one of the classmates, she also Christian. The father also doctor, Christian. And she like also taught the class also. Their result was also very good. I remember in the exam, our final exam, she would talk to all the classmates that she passed by, give you blessing on. May you do well in your exam. May God be with you and all that. Then I saw her giving the blessing to me. So I also read it back. I say, I wish you the same. May God be with you. But after the exam, she scored. I also scored. So there are kind people, good people. The result that come out from your kind heart actually manifests differently. Then we managed to enter, during my time, 1973, 74, very difficult to enter MU to study engineering and medical degree. Very difficult. And yet, we were so blessed that we were the few that went in. And there are also situations that they encounter too. So it's not something straightforward. So you look back at your life. That's why if you understand the true teaching, then you understand clearly what karma is. You can actually trace back on. All these are causes and conditions from the past. That's why it become like that. Even when I was in the uni, how I encountered Chief Reverend, then I did the meditation in my hostel room. The first day, first night, that thing just happened. Then after that, I actually continued with that type of meditation until I graduated. Then in between, I went to Brickfield also. But that meditation that they teach, I cannot do one now. Especially the Burmese on the rising, falling, then the concentration on the jhana, all those things. I don't know why. I look at it, they give all the instruction, I cannot follow. I just relax and I just go in there. Then my anapanasati came. I have been doing that, I think, long time in the past. Then when that one come, the mindfulness, until I understood what sati is, But then I realized that is formal meditation. Then later on when I met Ajahn Yantra, I reversed back to daily mindfulness. So that was the transformation, the breakthrough. And very strange, you will come to that understanding on your own. Then when I met my last guy also, very funny. I am not supposed to see him already, because I already have understood the Dhamma, the realization. But the condition keep on manifesting until 6 times. I say I never encountered such a encounter that keep on showing the sign to me for 6 times. Normally 2nd time I already know what to do already, but I resisted from seeing him and meeting up with him until the sign keep on coming. At the 6th time I tell myself, I don't know who he is, I know I must meet him. That's it, finish. That's why I went and met him. Then the moment I met him, I knew it's meant to be. That's why everything just fall into place. I like the word, whatever will be, will be. Means it's like already meant to be, but not predestined. You don't get it wrong. Means everything's set already. It has to move that direction already, and it has to come and evolve that way because of the understanding from the past, the vow, the aspiration, everything that it fall into place. But like I say, everyone is different. Not everybody's cultivation is like that. So if yours is at the level you are going through, you will continue to manifest that way. And some people flicker-minded on. They keep on switching here and there. They try this, try that, and they try. But most of them who do all this one, there can be 2 types. One is seriously searching. The other one is, they say, the Malay proverb is hangat tak ayam. They go and try, not suitable, not nice, change. Go and try, not suitable, not nice, change. And I see people changing a lot. They go everywhere, but they cannot find, because their search is based on what they desire, what they want, not based on certain guided experiences that they have cultivated before. If you have those guided on, you come, you never go wrong. Like this line, I realized until today. Then after 1989, my last guide still told me, he said, do you remember? He said, when no earthly guide can guide you, the one that is up there, they will send somebody from up there. Then 20 years later, I met him. He was so happy to see me, help me. He said, did anyone come? I said, none. Until today, none. Then not only until that day, until today, none. They're very funny. When they come together, 86 to 89, all come, my guide, my teacher all come. After that, after the last one, that's why I call him the last one. He showed me the gateway. Until today, none. Whether human or non-human, none. Because his teacher that taught him one, a lot of the one from up there, the astro one. Not astro, astro. A-S-T-R-A-L. You know, he told me one of his teachers that taught him the gateway one. He's from the astro one. At that time when he met him, according to him, he said that being that teach him 600 years old. You believe or not? I don't know. And you know how he teach him meditation? I remember. He also went out. He also can come out. So up there, that 600 years old, supposed to be the wise one. I remember he told me this. He said, how you meditate? he explained to him how he said wrong. Go there, he said lie down. He asked him to lie down. He lie down. Then I think he activated his gateway. Then after that, he become different. Then he enjoyed. Then after that, he learned that one from him. Then that's why he also come to know. He also can show me where the thing is. Then after that, he was, according to him, he was that life he supposed to help people on, but help who he don't know. Then when he met me, he liked me a lot. He keep on holding my hand and all things. Then he talked to me a lot of things that he never talked to others about how he started and how he met all his teacher and all his teachers. He never tell others on, I realize. But he shared with me a lot of this type of thing. So to me, I just tell myself it's meant to be. It's for me to understand. Otherwise, I don't know what this thing is all about. 10:30 sorry, Hui Long. You summarize, summarize, then we end.
其实就是you take care of karma, karma
对 take care of you, take care of your life. Very good. That is a good summary. 很好。But actually, that topic I reflected on it in the early days. To search for truth is not easy. Not easy. Without your past, actually not easy. It's like the Buddha's analogy, the turtle and the eggshell. 100 years surface one, you expect to hit that hole. That is to be born as a human only, not search for Dhamma. You say 人生难得, the human body is difficult to come by. Then 佛法难闻, that one is even more difficult. So the turtle head and the turtle eggshell, the analogy already slim enough, very like the chance of it occurring in the four ocean, every 100 years you surface, your turtle head go into that shell, and somewhere in the floating ocean. So it's like almost as good as impossible. And yet this analogy was given means to really come into contact with the true Dhamma. That's why Hsuan's opening statement, you remember? What did he write? How long for you to encounter? 500? Aeons or kapas. So these are actually in the sutta. So if you really look at the sutta, then you know how difficult it is for the living being to encounter the true teaching, the Buddha Dhamma, especially the Supreme Vehicle teaching. Okay, we end. So let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, then we will share merits. Akasata cha bhumata deva naga mahindika punyang tang anumoditwa chirang rakantu lokasasana ittavata camehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatina hotu sukita hontu devo sadukalena sasa sampati hetu cha fito bhavatu loko cha Raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamena mame bhala samagamo sattang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you all may now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Guanyin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end. Thank you.